We were actually able to find a translator, Alla Dersteller, who was joining us live on the phone, who listened to that video and was actually, she's a professional interpreter, and was able to tell us what he said or what he was doing.
Help us understand what you saw and what you heard.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Actually, the guy seems to know 6 languages. He was speaking in Russian, Armenian, Dagestanian, Ossetian, Kabardinian, and Georgian languages.
Wow.
All with very good accents. The first phrase was in the Russian language. That's the only one I understood, but the other messages in the other language were interspersed with Russian words, and what I gathered is the following. We came here to Moscow. You are my brother. Show me that person who is after you, and we're going to get him. I have my grandfather's knife, and I'm going to rip him apart. Whoever is going to point their finger at Americans, whoever is going to point their finger at Chechnya is going to be ripped apart and dealt with.
Some very compelling and very interesting, because earlier we had heard when someone was initially translating this, they were saying, oh, it's just a guy that was joking around, that there really wasn't anything.
Yeah, help us understand, Alla, we appreciate your time. Help us understand his demeanor. Was this a guy that was being angry and threatening, or was this a kid that was joking around?
No, that was the guy that... Actually, there was only one guy speaking.
I understand, but I'm just asking you to describe him.
He was changing voices.
Okay.
And joking around. The other people were, I could tell in the background, there were other voices that were responding and joking around.
So
you were absolutely right.
In hearing this and just listening to the translation that you just read, it almost sounded like it did seem like it was threatening in a way, just saying that, oh, we'll have whoever's responsible and we'll come after them.
Points their finger at Chechnya. Much of what is written on the website is in, am I correct, is it Cyrillic, which of course I cannot read. Have you been able to read? Because
I looked at it.
Okay.
I looked at it, and basically it said, didn't write it down. I didn't know that was needed for translation, but from memory, it said that don't judge Muslims by their actions, judge them from the point of view of the Quran, and that's basically all it said.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, and some of the only English I've been able to read on the website was posted by others. There's some very threatening things, death to America, death to the invaders, but there, of course, is no way to know if that was a sentiment that Jahar has himself.
And something else. Something else I wanted to ask you as well. Of course, you were saying, like in this video, and we are playing it right now on our screen, he was speaking 6 different languages. Is that something that's very common for someone who maybe is from the Republic of Chechnya?
No, not at all.
Okay.
They're all absolutely different. They're not dialects. They're separate individual languages with their own alphabet, their own history, their own roots. So it's very uncommon for a person to be speaking that many languages. And actually, I lived in Georgia for a while, and I know for a fact that maybe an Armenian who used to live in Georgia knows some Georgian, but it's very rare to know all of those languages.
We know that the older brother was an engineering student, and can we presume by what you've said with his gift for languages, I mean, this is a very, very bright and well-educated 19-year-old. Is that a safe assumption?
Probably. It's very possible.
Yeah, don't let me put words in your mouth, but I find it remarkable that someone can speak 6 completely different languages.
Oh, absolutely. It's very remarkable.
Okay. We appreciate your time. I know you are much in demand this morning, and you've been helping a number of television stations understand more about this person, and we appreciate you taking time to talk to us.
Police converged on a neighborhood just west of Boston hours after a police officer was shot and killed on the campus of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. A state police spokesman said the incident in Watertown involved what was thought to be explosive devices, likely used against police officers. No arrests had been made in the officer's fatal shooting, and a manhunt was on for the shooter. Hours earlier, the FBI released photos and video of 2 suspects in Monday's bombings at the finish line of the Boston Marathon. They depict a young man in a dark cap, another in a white cap worn backward. both wearing backpacks, one walking behind the other on the sidewalk near the finish line as marathoners run by. The FBI agent in charge described them as armed and extremely dangerous and urged anyone who sees them to contact authorities. Sandy Kozel, The Associated Press.
What Steve just said?
That's right. State police giving me a strong head shake when I asked if he was alive. A senior officer telling me, yes, he is alive. And it appears that they're not likely bringing him out this direction. They appear to be at ease, and so I'm suggesting they're probably going out Birch or Franklin area right now. But everybody is standing down, satisfied. A few of the officers taking pictures to commemorate the moment of this successful end. And incredible to think when this city was and cities surrounding it were shut down because the concerns and the danger and the worries about how this would end. And it ended